What's happening? It's the most underrated episode 4, baby. I just realized 4 should be a special episode. It's not. It's regular shit. But here we are, baby. This episode is brought to you by Zach's Snacks. They didn't sponsor me or pay me or anything. I bought these, but the guy that owns it lives in my apartment complex, and they are kick-ass. No refined sugars, no seed oils, no additives, no preservatives. The only one I've tried so far is the Coconut Munch. It's fire. The other 3 are bound to be just as good. What's good, dog? How y'all been? It's been a long time since I did one of these, which I should have been doing these because my YouTube just got fully monetized because of y'all taking the time to watch my videos and interact and stuff. The big thing on the table is at the beginning of this month, I started talking to a company, a music distribution company. I don't know, I guess you'd call it distribution. It's a company about taking my music to the next level. And I flew out and met with one of the owners. We played Top Golf. I did horribly. My swing was atrocious, but I don't golf, so that's probably why. And I talked a lot to the other owner on the phone. And we negotiated a lot, went back and forth about a lot of stuff. But in the end, bro, I decided I'm not going to do it, bro. I'm just going to keep pushing and see where it takes me. Because this month, January, well, last month, was my first time ever breaking 400,000 streams in a month. Over 400,000 times somebody listened to my songs in January. And probably more, because that's just between Spotify, Apple, YouTube. So who knows what the number really is, but out of the main streaming companies, that's what it did. So thank y'all so much for that. Another thing I wanted to run by y'all is like, a lot of times when y'all hit me up and be like, hey, do a song with this artist, do a song with that artist. And I almost always look into it, but a lot of times, like, number one, I've already got music out with that person, and they're just weird, or they're, like, on drugs or something crazy. Like, they're just hard to deal with. A lot of times that's the case. Artists are weird. I'm weird, too. There's probably people out there who are like, oh, yeah, I don't fuck with Gringo. I just can't deal with that. And whatever. That's on them. But there's other artists out there that, they just weird me out, bro. They weird me out, and I just don't rock with them. And there's no hate against them. I don't want to tear them down in any way. I just don't want to hang out with them, you know? Like, so that's one possible scenario. Another possible scenario is they're on drugs. They're on hard drugs. And there's something that's in methamphetamine that makes people hate me, specifically me, I think. Because all my biggest haters are like hardcore tweakers. All the people who get super mad at me and like diss me on the internet, hardcore tweakers. Every single one of them. It's weird. And you know, I ain't judging, bro. I used to be popping Adderalls and I used to be popping Exos and stuff when I was younger, and I loved doing it when I was younger. But like, damn, bro, like, grow up, you know? So that's another reason why I don't be working with some of the artists y'all want me to. And the third and final reason, and probably the most common reason why I'm not working with the artists that y'all ask me to, is because y'all are asking me to work with these like super major artists who I would love to work with, but I have no way of getting in touch with them, you know? Like, y'all are like, work with Jelly Roll. I'm like, oh yeah, let me just call his people up. You know what? It don't work like that. For one, and for two, like, you have to have the infrastructure and be ready for a feature of that caliber, for like a Kendrick feature. You can't just give a no-name a Kendrick feature that doesn't have a budget to. It has to be somebody who has the money to facilitate something that big. You know what I mean? So, yeah, those are the main reasons why I don't work with artists who y'all tell me to work with repeatedly. But I try to, man. And there's a lot of them y'all recommend that I have stuff on the way with, that we're already working together and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, what else been going on? Last week, was it? 2 weeks ago, I met YBE, artist from California, dope rapper from California. I met him and his team at iMix Studios with Bruce Bang. It was at Baby Bash's session. He's the one who invited me. And afterwards, we went to Pappadeaux's. They never had Pappadeaux's because they were all from California. And so Bash had us all out to Pappadeaux's, and that shit was crazy, bro. The chef at Pappadeaux's came through after we had already eaten and we had like hella appetizers and shit, so I was already full. But then the chef comes out with these oysters, bro, with like shrimp and all this crazy stuff on top of them, and they were amazing. They weren't even from the menu. They were like the chef's personal, or the I guess he's the chef, the manager, chef or manager. I don't know exactly. I think he was the chef. I should have figured out more, but they were amazing. They were amazing. I think he called them John Doe oysters is what he called them. But yeah, that was amazing, man. Shout out Bash, shout out YBE, shout out California, man. I'm trying to go back to California soon and function with Jay Zach or my boy Call Me Stevie Ray. Something like that, man. I'd love to do that. And yeah, so I guess like over a month ago, it's been a long time now, but I asked Facebook if the fans had any questions for the next video, and we had quite a few people ask, so I'm gonna read through some of those real quick. All right, the first one, Dylan Wiedenfield says, where did the 2 different color shoes idea come from? I don't really know. I just had I just had the idea, I guess. I've always just liked the black and white color scheme, and I've always been like super into like yin and yang and spiritual things like that. So to me, it was like representative of that. And then the way, so people said that they had white Air Force energy or black Air Force energy, you know what I mean? And I felt like I'm a mix between both. It depends on the situation, how I'm feeling that day, everything. So to me, it was symbolic. It was like doing an actual representation of yin and yang with the shoes. So that's why I do it, but I don't know where it came from. I just had the idea, I guess. Shelby Hollingsworth said, if you could perform at any venue, anywhere, where would you choose? I don't know. I'd love to do a show in Sokol Underground again. Sokol Underground. It's not like the biggest or like craziest, hardest to play venue, but I had some good shows there early in my career, and that place holds a special energy. But other than that, man, like I just want to play all of them, bro. I want to tour the United States, and it's not any one that I have to play. Red Rocks would be sick, I guess, if I had to pick one. Red Rocks would be cool, but I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot of them. I want to see the world. Chelsea Kirby Powers said, at what age did you know this is the path you wanted for your life, and what made you decide that? Probably like 11 or 12 or something. I got a guitar. The guitar that I still play, actually. Well, that wasn't my first guitar. But anyways, I got a guitar, and I started just writing songs almost instantly. Like, I learned like a couple of chords and then just started writing songs. And yeah, pretty much from that moment, I knew I really fucked with it, and I knew that it's something that I could do. I don't know at what age did I decide it was the only option. Probably like, because once I started putting out music, pretty soon after that, I had some like, it was minor success, but like I had like people who were coming to shows for me and like getting thousands of views on YouTube. Back when it was hard to get thousands of views on YouTube, you know? So once that happened, I was like, oh, hell yeah, I gotta do this, you know? Justin Brazda says, what software do you use? Do you use loops or make up all your own stuff? Do you ever sample old records? Do you record your own vocals? Do you always finish a song right when you start, or do some of them take weeks or months or even years? I use FL Studio to make my beats. I use Pro Tools to record vocals. I do use loops. I try not to as much, just because I would just hate for a song using a loop to be the one that blows up, and you got to give away a big chunk of it because you use somebody's loop. But I do use them, especially like drum breaks and stuff like that for a lot of my stuff. Guitars, I try to do all my own of these days. I did make a lot of beats in the past with like Environment was a loop on the guitar. There's been a bunch of them, but I try not to anymore. Do you ever sample old records? No, not really, because I know I can't get them cleared. I'll interpolate it, like how I did with In a Hurry and Kryptonite and stuff like that, but I don't sample very much. Do you record your own vocals? Yeah. The only times that I don't is like on features, if I go to a studio, or like The stuff that I've done with Bash, I recorded with Bruce Bang at iMix. Actually, except Lead the Way. Lead the Way I recorded at the crib too. But I like recording myself at the crib because I'm very fast with recording and Pro Tools and stuff like that. So I can get my ideas out as fast as I can think them almost. And then if I go to a studio, even with a really dope engineer, it's like there's still like a buffer. There's them doing something. It's just not as intuitive for me, you know? So I prefer to record myself. Do I always finish a song right when I usually finish it all in one sitting. And if I don't finish it in that sitting, then I forget about it. But there are exceptions where I'll start a song and come back to it later and like, sometimes I will make a song and I'll leave like one open verse and then I'll come back later and fill in that open verse. But usually I at least get the chorus and the first verse done all in the first sitting. And if it doesn't get done in the first sitting, then I ditch the song usually. YD Porter said, what happened with Bashtown Records and why do you still not have a management team intact? I don't know what the first question is. I rock with Bash and Bashtown Records. I have releases through them. I'm not signed to them like long term or anything permanent, but we have songs out together. And if Bash called me for anything, I'd go down to if he called me right now and said come down to the studio and let's work on it, I'm there. You know what I mean? So shout out Bashtown. And why do I still not have a management team intact? Because I'm barely making enough to like really sustain myself and pay all my bills and stuff. Like it's getting better and better, but I can't afford to give somebody 20% right now for one. And number two, even if I did give somebody 20%, it's not going to be enough to like really move the needle for a big time manager. And and if I get to a little bit better point in my career, then I will have more leverage to get a manager who's really going to work for me and who I'm not going to pay an arm and a leg for necessarily. And I'll just be in a better position to hire a manager. Right now, if I hired a manager, his life it would suck. It would be hard for him, you know, like, so. And also because the manager is an extension of my business and I want it to be somebody who I can trust with that and I like really believe in and want to give that cut to. David Rackley said, what do you think about putting up a beat with a hook on it and having a competition? Whoever sends the best verse gets on the song with you. I kind of did this. I did that on TikTok with an open verse competition. And I think I made a song with the winners. I can't remember. I think I was supposed to, and maybe everyone didn't. I don't know. If I didn't, then my bad, dog. But I'm pretty sure I was supposed to. Victoria Ashley says, if you could be a feature on or collaborate with any artist that you haven't already, who would it be? I'd like to do something with like Post Malone. That'd be cool. My favorite artist right now, like, I really like, who do I really like? I really like 42 Doug's voice and style a lot. I don't know. I get this question, it just depends. Like, there's so many like big artists who would almost be like an equal honor to work with them for me. You know what I mean? Like Eminem or Kendrick, like, you know what I mean? Like, whichever one I work with, like it's a idol of mine at some point in my life, or a GOAT, J. Cole, you know what I mean? Like, but who do I think I would make really good music with? I think I could do something with J. Cole, or I think I could do something with, who did I say before? I forgot, but yeah, Adele too. James Cash said, how music good as yours ain't at the top of the list where it should be? Man, there's a lot of reasons behind it, but also because even with my music, like, I still have things to learn. I still have to get better because number one, it's always evolving. So if I stay at this level, the game gonna pass me by. This ain't gonna be impressive anymore. So I have to keep evolving with it, but also I still have plenty to learn about production and music. I don't know anything about music theory really. Like, I'm just going off vibes, which is cool, but the more I learn, the more I'll be able to channel those vibes into something magnificent, you know? Matthew IK, what's her name? I don't know what you mean, bro. Jake Burke said, biggest influences that are hip hop. Like, just in the past, like, some of my favorites have really been, like, it started with, like, Eminem, 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, that whole era is when got my first favorite rappers and stuff. And then just throughout my life, like it's been like Chance the Rapper. I was super into him for a little bit. 3 6 Mafia, that whole wave I was super into for a while. I don't know, like I've had Nipsey Hussle. I would probably label Nipsey Hussle as my favorite rapper of all time. Like even before he died, like when he died and stuff, he was my favorite at that point in my life. And been out to the Marathon store at Slauson and Crenshaw before he died, and all of that, man. I'm a huge Nipsey Hussle fan. Chance Morgan said, I'm still asking where the cinnamon roll and chili came from, and we need the recipe so we could try it. It's a Nebraska thing, dog. We had it at school lunches growing up as kids. Like, it's just always been a thing to us, like kids from the Midwest, Nebraska, Iowa. I think Kansas does it. And it's chili and cinnamon rolls, and everybody loves that day. It's just a thing. I never knew they didn't do that everywhere until I came here. I was like, y'all don't do chili and cinnamon rolls in the winter, you know? So Dylan Bay said, bro, why don't you have Normal on SoundCloud? I'm not cool with that. I think I uploaded it. I think enough people asked me that I uploaded it. I could be wrong, or I could be thinking of the wrong song, but I think it's up there now. But SoundCloud limits my upload time. Like, I can only have like 60 minutes of uploads on SoundCloud because I don't pay for it, because it doesn't pay me anything. So why am I going to pay you to put my music on your platform that isn't paying me shit? You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather people go listen to my music somewhere that's at least gonna pay me a half a penny or something for a stream, you know? So that's why I don't keep up with my sound. And I feel like very, very few people use it these days. I mean, it's still a lot of people, but man, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't care for SoundCloud. Amber Sparks with Star Scent. Appreciate it. And then she said, how hard is it to keep the women fans off you and yet be respectful while in a relationship? Is it hard on you, Shelby? Type my girl. No, it's not really hard. Like, not for me. Maybe she'd disagree. I don't know. But I don't really entertain it like that. Like, I'll be nice and cordial to people, you know, like, and I appreciate the love, you know what I mean? Because it just goes to show, like, the love that the fans have. But, like, it's rarely ever, like, super crazy or weird, you know what I mean? So, and when it is, it's just, like, it would usually when, if like, the flirtiness or whatever gets to, like, a crazy level, like, okay, that would be weird even if I didn't have a girl or anything. It's just an awkward way to be towards a human being, you know? So, I don't know. To me, it's not a big deal. And ladies, I appreciate it, but I do have a girl. But, yeah, man. So, I guess that concludes the questioning. I'll do an episode 5 here soon. Appreciate y'all for everything you're doing for my music, all the sharing, all the hours watched and listened to, and everything like that, man. And keep on the lookout for new music, man. I love y'all.